They say the difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do. I used to think that meant big moves, career changes, life overhauls, but lately I'm not so sure, so I've been doing things different, simple things, micro habits. And it's been hitting different.
It is freaking hot as shit. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 micro habits that are currently changing my life. Let's get into it. The older I get, the more I realize that real growth happens in small stuff, the tiny things, the mini decisions that we tend to overlook every day. But over time, we end up realizing that those tiny micro habits that we didn't even think twice about, that those things compound.
If you're like me, you probably get really anxious at night. You're thinking about what you could have done, what you should have done, what needs to get done. And before you know it, your mind is cluttered, overwhelmed, confused. So on those nights when these emotions are super high, I've started a new ritual. I write about tomorrow, not what I'll do, but who I'll be. And as I write, I notice the stories I tell myself, the limitations I've accepted as truth. And I wonder, what if those stories aren't set in stone? What if I just write a new one? So I don't know about you, but for the majority of my life, I have suffered from social anxiety. When I'm in public situations, the idea of other people staring at me and me being the center of attention, that never really sat well with me. I knew that really wasn't me. Because when I think back to my childhood, I was the complete opposite. I was a dancer for 15 years. I love singing. I always put myself in situations where I would be the center of attention. But then as I got older, this kind of faded because boys at school would kind of make fun of me because, I was so bubbly. For a long time, I suppressed that version of me because I thought it was wrong. And so now this micro habit of exposure therapy is helping me reconnect with that version of myself. At the gym with my mom, I noticed so many people were staring at us. And for the first time in a while, I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't care what you're thinking about me. I don't care if you think I'm weird. I don't care if you're judging me, because I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impress myself. How ironic is it that the things we're most afraid of doing are the things that change our life the most? So I have this horrible habit that I wasn't even aware of until recently. I call this all or nothing thinking. Today I promised myself that I was going to start working at 9 a.m. I didn't. I spent way too long at the gym. I watched a YouTube episode and decided to watch 3 more. And before I knew it, it's 11 a.m. and I'm 2 hours behind. But this is the worst part. Instead of me being like, okay, it's fine, like I have the rest of the day, I can get what I needed to do done, 2 hours, not big deal. You wanna know what I say? I go, you know what, this day is wasted, there's no point in trying, I ruined the first part of my day, the last part of my day is already ruined, I'll just start again tomorrow. And I wasn't even aware of how many people experience this until I came across a solution by Gretchen Rubin, and she calls this the 4 quarters day. So the way this works is you're gonna divide your day into 4 quarters. So let's say it's 10 a.m. and you've got nothing done so far. Well, that's just the first quarter. Your second one's coming right up. So because you're looking at your day in chunks instead of this one block of a huge day, now you can direct your focus to really optimize that part of your day. Because some days you're gonna F up all 4 quarters, and that's okay. But most days, you'll win at least 1, maybe 2 or 3. And that's the point. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. leads me into this micro habit, which has completely changed my life. And I call it productive boredom, where you purposely take time out of your day to do absolutely nothing. I've realized this time and time again, when I take time to go out into nature without any stimulation from the outside world, I am so stimulated internally. The irony I'm realizing is that when we chase productivity, we actually might be less productive, less creative, less ourselves. We reach for our phones the moment we feel that itch of boredom. We fill every silence with noise, every pause with action. And in doing so, we suffocate our creativity. So that's why I'm trying this. I'm embracing those moments of nothingness, those stretches of time where I'm not achieving anything. And it's uncomfortable at first, but then magic happens. So I don't care if you're bored or tired or lazy, clean your room before you go to bed. I know it's boring. I know you'd rather just be in bed, but you will not regret the feeling of putting everything away so that you can go to bed in peace, and then you can wake up to a clean room without the clutter, without the overwhelm, without the mental insanity. Simple, but so powerful. So I used to be that girl who would scroll on Instagram and binge YouTube and watch Netflix right before I go to bed. I didn't realize the consequences this had on me until I woke up every morning with anxiety and a lack of proper sleep. So that's why I started this micro habit, which is called a digital sunset. It's where you turn off and block off all technology, including social media, including checking your emails, and instead, you grab a book. And I know you already know this, but the fact of the matter is I know a lot of you don't do it because it's hard. It's so tempting to go on your phone and scroll on TikTok because to you, you consider that a form of relaxation. But scientifically and neurologically, it does the complete opposite. And that's why you really got to develop the willpower and discipline to say, okay, it's 2 hours before bedtime. I'm going to intentionally curate my environment so that it matches the state of mind that I want to be in. Relaxation. So every night before I go to bed, I set the intention to choose one word that's going to dictate the rest of my day tomorrow. So some nights when the weight of the world feels unbearable, I'll choose resilience. On some nights where I feel like fear is taking over me, I'll choose courage. And what I've learned is that this practice has nothing to do with perfection. It has everything to do with intention. Because on my compassion days, I've caught myself in moments of judgment. And on my courage days, I still feel moments of fear. And that's the point, because this word, this theme, it reflects the gap between who you are and who you strive to be. And in that gap, when you notice it, that's where you find growth, because you're aware of the emotions that are holding you back. And you're also aware of the emotions that you want to embody. It's one thing to say you want to be more patient and present. It's another thing to set the intention where tomorrow you wake up and you're already in that state of mind. Remember that in the end, the difference between who you are and what you want is what you repeatedly do. Big or small, intention matters. So set them wisely.